Hello, we're here, and we are in Skyrim. Now, yeah, I know. We'll get it out of the way. I know I said on my Discord that I probably wasn't going to be doing a Skyrim video this week, or at least recording one this week because of the recent update, which has fucked so many things up. But I have got the basics of it working now, so I can kind of actually feel like actually being able to actually do this. Because originally I was having a problem with my load order and my the mod page itself loading up, get crashing the game. But I can kind of get onto it now, so it's all fine. But yeah, the updates basically mess everything up. Things have gone all over the place on PlayStation, at least anyway. So it's been a bit of a pain in the ass. But that out of the way, since I've managed to get some basic stuff working, we are actually going to have a look at some mods just to sort of start off. And basically, I'm going to start a new file, but I'm going to create a new character off camera, sort of thing. Blah blah blah. I'm only on this because this is actually for mod number 1. But right, enough of the semantics out of the way. Let's get on to mod number 1, which is all new races. That is literally what it was called, all new races. And this is by Mods for PS4 Boy. Pretty much on the nose for the name. So all new races, it doesn't give you a lot in the description. It gives you a basic general gist. It's basically it's either they have changed the names of the races that are already in the game to something else and did a whole load of other changes of it, or they've added in new ones. But I think they have basically reworked the races that are already in the game. So it's not really so much it's new races in the way that they made new races. They've just altered the races that are already in the game. Now you're going to see some races in my character list. Not all of these races are part of this mod. So like for example, the Beaver here. This isn't part of this mod. This is part of another mod. But so we've got the Daragon, which is this mod's version of Argonians. Arthengard looks like meant to be the Wood Elf. Highborn, obviously the High Elf. Kenjin, I have no idea what the hell is going on with the impaling. Anyway, Kenjin obviously is meant to be Redguards. Monster is the Khajiits. Nomad is Nords. The Rava is the Dark Elf. Skillen is Imperials. The Divine, Bretons, and the Uruk is obviously Orc. But I don't know what's going on with their mouths, so there might be some collisions going on here. So you know, I think there is meant to be some other stuff that they've changed, like some of their stats and this and that and the other. But again, it doesn't give you much detail, so you kind of have to like mess around a little bit. For example, but let's just begin with. Okay, let's begin with the Divine. There we go. Then genders, no one say. So yeah, I could tell it's meant to be the Bretons. Presets are still there, so they haven't. So I'm not expecting there to be anything too. Anyways, like hair colors, lip colors, and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm pretty aware of game that Skyrim is updated. I'm playing it right at the moment, funny enough. But yeah, I'm not expecting there to be any kind of like new hair colours or anything like that. I mean, it'd be nice if there was, but I have my doubts that there are. So there's no new wall paints there. Wall paint colours are the same. I'm just going to randomly create this character as is because I'm not keeping this character. This is just to sort of get the character made up. Nothing new there, but I'm not surprised. Lip colours. No, they're still as they are. Hair is still just not normal hair. And hair colours, looks like they're still the same. They're still, yeah. So, in the ways of the actual character creation, it's still the same. There's nothing new or unique about it, it's still the same. Skills wise, health is a little bit lower, stamina is a little bit lower. Your magicka though, okay, there's one or two things here. Either that is an error on multiple boy PS4 boys, or PS4 boy. I'm just going to put PS4 boy for short. That is either an error that PS4 boy has made, or they intentionally have 650 magicka, which is ridiculous. But they are called the Divine. Makes sense. So obviously they're gonna have a lot of their skills in the set up in magic. You see everything else, like all your stealth and your combat skills are all 15. And your magics have gone up to 35, apart from enchanting, which is kind of disappointing. But, that's a nitpick. Okay, so obviously there's definitely been some buffs there. Definitely we got a lot of magic. That's for something else later on, so don't worry about that. What have we got? We got Iron Flesh. Improves the caster armor rating. I don't know. I think that I can't remember if that was actually in the game already, or if that's a new one that Dave just created. Or not. I can't quite remember. I don't do magic that much in this game, or I don't tend to play that much using magic. Obviously, paralyzed is paralyzed. I kind of see now why you might need 650 magicka, because you got about 15,000 spells. You got some basic stuff about 3 elements though. So fire explosion, points of damage, 50-foot radius, thunderbolt. So that's just basically an element, a tri-elemental attack. Vampiric drain, it's obviously just drains some of the health. Conjure familiar, that's obviously the basis of a Breton power. Restoration, fast healing and healing. So you got the normal starting one, and then the slightly more advanced powers. Some brute, I don't know what a brute is though. The chosen gift, absorb 100% of magicka from hostile spells for 120 seconds. See, that is circumstantial. As a power, that's circumstantial. But yeah, what can you do? And resist fire, resist frost, resist magic, more resist magic, resist. Okay, something tells me PS4 boy likes the Breton, because they've just seemed to have made the Breton, now apart from calling it the Divine, kind of a bit OP. Just saying. Alright, we got brute. Oh, okay, let's have a look at brute. What is a brute? And what are you, brute? I don't know. It might be because I can't summon it in here, because maybe there's no nav mission here or something. I don't know. Okay, we're just gonna pick. Alright, I'll be back in a minute, and because I just want to see what this brute is meant to be. So back in. Now you might come to, I just want to point this out as well. You might come to realize the game looks a little bit different compared to last time. It is because some mods are still being a bit funny. So, for example, I had Be Very Evase, what the bloody hell's it? Albigium 13 or Inbigium 13? I can't remember what its bloody name was. But it's basically, it's one that it changed a lot of like visual aspects of the game, kind of thing. But some mods are still messing up, some and sort of like playing around, and sort of like being a bit like, Jesus Christ, he's massive, a bit funny. So some mods I've had to remove, so the game might look a little bit different. All right, so obviously monster, obviously it changes the thing. So any dedicated I'm gonna find out is gonna be literally a monster. Side effect of the growth hormones that all the Gajit have taken. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's see what we can find out what this brute is. I don't have a follower. What the hell's the game all about? So you are Le Brute. You are Le Brute. You don't say anything, but you are Le Brute. I'm not gonna beat you up because you are Le Brute. All right. So that's. I just wanted to see. I just came into here. Well, he's kind of undead apparently. Yeah, well, I just came here, so I just wanted to see what the brute was. Anyway, right. So that's basically it with this one. I mean, yeah, it's nothing crazy, nothing special, but you know, it changes how the game starts in the ways of what it changes your races, so you can have a little bit more fun. But it's obviously you do have to remember it changes the races, the vanilla races, so you don't actually have the vanilla race still in the game. Cause it's either these races or vanilla races. You can't have this and the vanilla race in the game. So just be aware that it overwrites all the vanilla races. But in general, it doesn't seem like it's done anything too crazy. You might get a race here and there that might be a little bit overpowered, possibly, like the Divine. You know, they're going to be a little bit very OP at the beginning of the game. But I got the rest of them might be a little bit more balanced, maybe some little bit overpoweredness here and there kind of thing, but nothing too crazy. So yeah, this is not one. This is not one I would keep for myself, but I just I had to show something else off. I couldn't because I had to show something off, and plus so I'll add a link in the description below to the mod itself if I could still do that with how they've changed the menu now. I'll have to figure all that out later on. But if I can still do like links in the description, I'll leave a link in the description below to the mod page itself, so you can sort of add it into your library or have a look at it yourself, kind of thing, to see if it's something that you would want or not. But yeah, so this was all new races by mod for PS4 boy. Right, so we're going to move on to mod number 2. Now, mod number 2, I don't like these trees, so let's do something about them. Alright, as you can see, I've moved probably about 2 inches. So yeah, here we are with mod number 2, which is Jesus Christ, he's giving us a weird name. Afforestation magic reworked. But this is by Cyan49, and basically what it's going to do, I've got to find out where it is. So we've got these two here. That's the afforestation. That's the word. That's the word that makes no sense. So basically, in a more basic term, is this helps with planting trees and deleting or removing trees, because you got afforestation and deforestation. So it's like open the option menu and place a tree or something where you point. So it might not be just trees, there might be plants as well. I'll have to have a look. Removes the nearest tree or something placed by this mod if dual casting. Remove up to 5 of them per casting. Okay, so maybe I can't remove tree. Can I remove tree? Oh, I can't remove tree. Well, I can't remove a tree that was already there. So let's just have a look. Let's point. Okay, so as you can see, we got a bush, fern, shrub, tree, succulent, flora, mushroom, and kelp. First off, let's just go for a tree. Aspen, pine forest, pine forest. Oh, also there in the update, they added in the creation kit a resources pack, which added in a bunch of new trees and shit. So, for example, there's a palm tree. So we've got coconut palm, Latin palm, Madagascar palm, another Madagascar palm, white elephant palm, and white elephant palm. So it's adding a bunch there. So it added in a bunch of like kind of like deserty plants. So I think that's what the succulent might be. So it's added a bunch of them in. Where they've come from, I don't know. They've just added it in with the update with the creation kit, because they updated the creation kit as well as the game. And it's added a bunch of stuff. So, as you can see, we have a palm tree in the middle of the tundra. Why? So, I can put a palm tree there. I could then go to here, and then if I go tree, other tree. What we got? Bald cypress. No. Oh, you got a weeping willow. There you go. Put a weeping willow. There you go. Weeping willow. And so yeah, so I'm expecting to see a whole bunch of these things again. A bunch of these start appearing everywhere. But anyway, so as you can see, you can plant trees, you can plant plants, this down there. Now, you can't delete trees, as I've just seen. You can't delete trees that were already in the game. But if I turn around, my weeping willow has gone. Then if I go whoop, and the coconut palm is now gone. So you can use this. Obviously, where you would probably use this is, say, if you got a player house, and it's still gonna be barren outside, and you're like, oh, you know what, stuff like, oh, I really want. I would really love a weeping willow over here. Well, here you go. Here's a weeping willow. You put that on, and boom, you got a weeping willow. And then, yeah, and then when you've had enough, you just go, screw it, don't want it. But there you go. That's basically it. There's no craziness about it. It's basically adding the ability to add plants and trees and shit where you want, and then get rid of them if you're like, oh, maybe not there, actually, let's put it there. About that, it works pretty simply. You don't have to learn the spell or anything like that. You just get it. You get it at the beginning, right at the start of the game, and then yeah. I am expecting probably some updates for this to come out at some point where you might either add some more plants into it, or it might be you might add in some retextured versions. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. There's a whole bunch of information on the in the description, or you could just go to find Cyan 49's Discord server, which if I remember, I'll try and put a invite link in there. So if you do want to ask him any questions, you can. But yeah, that's basically that one. Pretty simple, on the nose. And so that is it. That was Afforestation Magic reworked by Cyan 49. And again, of course, if I'm able to put a link in the description below to the mod itself, I will do that if you want to have a look at it. And I will leave a invite link to Cyan's Discord page, just in case if you have any questions about this mod or any others of Cyan 49's mods in general. But do bear in mind that sometimes it takes a little bit of time for him to reply, and sometimes his English isn't always the best, because it's not his first language. So just bear that in mind when you're asking, because he might not always catch on to what you're on about. But anyway, that's enough about that. So we're going to move on to the final mod of the video, which is going to be sort of like the main mod of this video. And for that, we're going to go to a few different cities, because we're going to bring some more bright colour into the game. Alright, after about 15 fucking minutes trying to get this ping to pissing work, because the mods page is still fucked up, so it's turning things off, turning things on, not doing this, doing that, and god damn it, it's still messed up, basically. But I finally got to a point where I can show you mod number 3, finally, which is Anna's Skyrim texture overhaul plus colourful houses. Now, this is by Yuki 233515. Now, I'm not 100% on all details, because you got Yuki, but you got Anna's. Now, I don't know if Yuki is the full author or this is a port over or not. I'm not 100% sure. For that, I'll just give Yuki the credit, because I'm not 100% in all details. But basically, the main thing I'm wanting to look at is the colourful houses. I think there might be some retexture works in other places, well, with the wood and stuff like that. I think, I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. But the main thing I'm looking at are the houses, which, as the name suggests, gives them a little bit more colour. So yeah, so we've got a bit of daytime, and as you can see, like for example, Alvor's, it's got a bit more of a reddish tinge to it. The Sleeping Giant Inn has got a slightly, I would say that's kind of like a bluey kind of cyan kind of colour going on with it. River Trader, that's like a more of a indigo. the stone houses look like they are still made of stone, but Faendale's house, for example, is more green. So it's not just the walls of the houses that it changes. I think it does change some of the roofs as well, but I think it kind of depends on what building it is. Will depend on what it does, basically. Oh yeah, so you can see there, it's got like a little bit of orange, little smidgen of orange. So I'm going to go look at a couple of different places, and I'm not just going to look at Brickwood. We're going to have a look at a couple of places. So one place we're going to go and look at is Whiterun. So I will see you all in Whiterun. Alright, and here we are in Whiterun. One thing I just want to quickly point out with this, it does say in the description as well, but I think there's a few cities that they're not planning to do. I think it's Windhelm, Markarth and Riften, I think. I can't quite remember, but it does say in the description which ones they're not really going to change at any point. But yeah, you can see, just it brings a bit of nice extra colour. Unfortunately, that one's still that horrible blue. No. Okay, well, some of the older houses, some of the shack houses that they are. But yeah, so it looks like it's done some of the groundwork as well. It's like here, these one bits here, these are definitely a retexture. That's not the original. But yeah, so it looks like here it's mainly done. Well, I mean, actually that looks a lot cleaner. But yeah, instead of every house looking exactly the same colour, this and that, I mean, you wouldn't get that with houses though, that's the thing. So, it makes sense for for example, for these two to be the same kind of colour. Same colour of roof, same colour of walls, because they're technically kind of joined, so it kind of gives the impression that they were probably built at the same time. But for example, the Bannered Mare. Definitely coloured at a different time and much more colourful. I mean, look at that roof. That is a very colourful roof. I don't know if they've made any changes to Dragon's Reach. They changed your Vasca. It's no longer red, it's yellow. It's like it's got a massive banana on top. That looks, that has got a bit more darker tone to it. I just want to have a quick look at Dragon's Reach, and then we're going to move off to somewhere else. Just want to see here. Okay, so yeah. So this has been changed a little bit. It's got a much more darker wood, and also looks like kind of a much more darker kind of stone texture. I might be wrong on the stone texture. I might be wrong on that one, but maybe slightly darker stone. But the wood is definitely a darker wood. Alright, so we've had a quick little glimpse at Whiterun. As you can see, you can see over there, like a green roof. Hello, green roof. So that's quick little glimpse at Whiterun. So we're going to move off to somewhere else, and we're going to have another look at another city. Right, and here we are, having a quick little look in Solitude. And as you can see, now it looks like Solitude just from here. It looks like it's, in the ways of the roof thing, the roofs are all, well, maybe there might be some slight variation, like for example that's green, that's red, but it kind of makes sense that a lot of it would have more kind of like red roofing rather than pink, because obviously that's the colour of the banner, so that's obviously the colour of Solitude. It's basically green, not green, red, so it seems to be obviously the predominant one. Obviously, as you can see like there, that's the original. They were originally blue. Oh, there's a tree here for some reason. Not normally a tree there. Oh, they got a new tree going there. Good for them. Anyway, but yeah, so you can see this one. So it's done a lot of work to the roofs. It's done some of the brickwork. I mean, especially this one. This one's actually a blue house. It's bear. Is there a bear in there? Is there a bear living in the big blue house? By any chance? That looks very. I'll have a look at the blue palace in there. At least they still got the blue roof. Otherwise, that wouldn't make sense. Where do you live? The blue palace. Why is it blue? Called the blue palace. I don't know. You just call it the blue palace. Then that wouldn't make any goddamn sense. I think they've used a darker stone as well, haven't they? It looks like the stone work is darker. It definitely is on some of the houses, definitely. Oh, let's go have a quick look at the blue palace and just have a look. Here I come, blue palace. Here I come. Right. So it looks like they tried to mix up some of the stonework. So some of it is sort of a more smoother stone texture, and some of it's more cobbles. And anything else, obviously the roof is still blue because it kind of makes sense for it to be blue. Yeah. It just makes it, gives it that kind of new kind of look, new coloration. It just makes it look a bit more. I don't know. It makes it seem like that the city was built over time rather than it all being built all at once. Because if everything is the same kind of stonework, if everything is the same kind of colour, to me that kind of just gives me off the impression that it was like build a city, boom, that's it. It hasn't changed over the years whatsoever. Whereas like at least with this, it kind of makes it seem like it was like it has changed a little bit over the years. So so it's kind of sort of like, for example, like when you first get in here, these first lot of buildings here were the first lot built, and then this one, for example, the Radiant Raiments one, was built at a different time, kind of thing. Maybe not like loads of time after, but maybe it was built 5-10 years later, kind of thing. Blah 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 blah. Because it's a slightly different stone. It's got like the wooden texture and the green roof, rather than it being like straight up brick and red tiles. But let's a quick little look into that one. And so I will leave a link in the description below, if I can, of course, obviously, to this one for yourself, if you want to have a look at it. I think it does do some other stuff as well, but I think all the information you'll need is in the description. I just wanted to show off some of the colourful rooms, and to kind of give you an idea of what kind of retexture work it does, basically. But yeah. So this was Anna's Skyrim Texture Overhauls Plus Colourful Houses by Yuki, and again there will be a link in the description below if you want to have a look at this for yourself or add it to your collection. And we also looked at Afforestation Magic Reworked by Siren49 and All New Races by Mods for PS4 Boy. And all three mods in this video will have their links in the description below. Now, if you like this video, remember to leave a like, and why not subscribe to the channels? Because I've got more Skyrim videos on there. Obviously, I'm trying to start doing some other stuff. Next week, I will be starting a new series in No Man's Sky, which is something I've been wanting to do for a little while. But I think now's the time to start doing that, I reckon, to be perfectly honest with you, because obviously the Skyrim mods are slowing down a little bit, so I've got to give it a bit more time to sort of like build up a little bit, basically. So I've got to fill in the gap somewhere. But yeah, so keep an eye out for that. But obviously I'll still be doing some Skyrim videos every now and then. I know I did start doing a live stream of Skyrim, but the problem is, since the game's so unpredictable that it can unpredictably crash at no God-given time, there's no point in doing a broadcast, because if the game crashes, that stops the broadcast as well. So that's why I haven't carried on with that. If anyone was wondering. Probably not, but just in case. But if you have any mod suggestions you want me to look at, or if you want to ask me any questions about modding or anything like that, or just want to generally just ask me any kind of other generalised question, you can either do it in the comments below, or If you go and look in the description, you will find a link to my Discord where you can post all your questions and this and that and the other and all that wonderful stuff. Alright, so it's time for me to get out of here. Now I'm done. So until next time, I'll see you all later.